Good morning. Welcome to the Daily 3. I'm David.
I'm Mike, and we write it down and make it happen. All day, every day, 7 days a week, except when we don't.
Which is also 7 days a week, so we do it 100% of the time. All right.
So today's a Saturday.
It
It's
is.
the weekend. Tell me about your plan for rest optimization.
Well, that plan starts tomorrow a bit. So today is a work day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be working, finishing things up. I kind of did my Saturday, a little bit of work I was going to do on Saturday and Thursday, if you remember, with my dad's.
That's right. You pulled a swapski.
Yeah. So today I'm going to be working on some grace lead work and some hope work.
Well, in that case, happy Thursday.
Hey, thanks, man. So top 3 for today are, I have this written down.
Let's start with yesterday's. How did yesterday's go?
Oh, yesterday's was good. I had to work on the media queries for the CSS, for the typography for gracelead.org.
That's right.
I got about 70% done on that. So I'm moving that one again to today. And I finished the front page, which was good. And so now I'm working on just for the single article page, where you go to click an article to read the whole thing to set up that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of them. Another one from yesterday was having a coaching meeting with a guy.
Yeah.
That went really well.
Good.
Yeah. So that was good, and that was encouraging. And actually, that there is a follow up to that. I need to do. That's actually one of my daily 3 is for today is to email coaching follow up to the guy of notes that I took and kind of his action steps.
Yeah.
And then also to send out some emails to set up some more additional coaching conversation meetings with people.
Okay.
So I can continue to get practice doing that. My third one yesterday was to have meet with my executive assistant.
That's right.
And just go over some admin stuff for GraceLead. And we rescheduled that actually to Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
And so then the third one for my today, for my daily 3 is to organize more of Hope's sermon stuff and to work on their website. So, yeah. Yeah, it was, I guess it was a good day. I worked. I realized I didn't really take a break yesterday. So I think that is my daily 4th.
To listen to our own episode 6 on taking breaks.
Yeah. Yes.
Remember why we talked about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of funny. We were talking about this morning before we were recording editing some of these episodes and listening to them. It's kind of funny because it's like, oh, we only recorded the episode like a week ago, but I already forgot about like this element or this aspect of work, or I forgot that this is something I need to be doing or focusing on, or those types of things. So it's even good to just like remind. It's kind of weird. It's like past Mike and David is reminding present Mike and David of just so much of this is just a struggle to remember things we already know and to do things we already know and just be reminded of them. A lot of this isn't necessarily learning new things. It's just like, how do we keep remembering what we already know? Yeah,
it is. That is much of life.
Mm-hmm.
If we can only remember.
Yeah.
What about you? What were your daily 3 from yesterday?
Yeah, my daily 3 from yesterday was
I'm guessing it was knee wall.
No, I think I finished that the day before.
Oh, that's right.
It was to finish editing episode 3.
Oh, that's right.
Of this podcast.
And you did that already.
I did that. One of the things I learned was I had to be more specific, and instead of just saying edit episodes, actually like specify which one I want to get done and what done means. And so I actually did that one. So I got that one taken care of. And then another one, I think this was my third one, going out of order here, but was to make uploads for some photos and stuff on a website that we host and manage. And so I did that.
Oh, nice work.
Yeah. And then the second one was the basement bedroom remodel. So I wanted to get the mechanical ductwork done boxed out, basically ready for drywall.
Yeah.
So
How'd that go?
that was frustrating. It was one of those projects where I'm like, conceptually, I know how to do it and I know it can go pretty quick. And it was just, I think with messing, cutting into drywall and stuff, it just made a bigger mess than I wanted to make. And really wasn't ready for it. Yeah. And I think that just knowing like, oh man, I'm going to have so much cleanup because I'm getting dust everywhere was kind of like demotivating as I was going through it. And then partway through the project, I also realized now would be a good time to rip open a doorway. So I raised the floor up like 2.5, 3 inches. So I need to raise the whole doorway up that far as well. The rough opening for the doorway. So I can fit a standard size door in there. I mean, the other thing I could have done was just cut the door off at the bottom and it would have been shorter than a standard door, but I wanted to get a full one in there. So I had to raise the whole thing up. So I'm like, well, I'm already tearing into the dry. I've got a mess. I might as well do that now. So I took a break to like do that and make that happen. And it worked. I got it done, but it was a little like, it was a little difficult because I was trying to remove as little drywall as possible. So I don't have to do any patchwork later.
Yeah.
So it was like removing wood pieces in between 2 sheets of drywall and inserting in just a very tight space.
Oh, wow.
So
that sounds frustrating.
Yeah, it certainly was. But other than that, went pretty good. I think, yeah, I mean, it works. So I got it pretty much done and ready for drywall. I jacked up my elbow yesterday.
Yeah, I was wondering how that feels this morning.
Yeah, still not good.
Okay.
I did something really stupid. Basically, what I did was I fit one of the boards I was putting up to secure the. So I had the ductwork up there, and then I'm putting up the framing, which is just a 2x4. So basically, I have something to attach the drywall to box out around the duct.
And you're not. This isn't like you're not mounting a duct, correct?
No.
This isn't
this is not a DUCK. It is a DUCT.
If someone is looking to mount a duct, though, who would be a good person to?
They should contact Chuck Testa. Chuck Testa has a taxidermy shop out in California.
Chuck Testa.
Just another realistic looking mount from Chuck Testa.
Is that a ram driving a car? No, just Chuck Testa. We'll post the video so you can enjoy.
Yeah, that's funny. Wow. So yeah, if you're looking to get a duck mounted, that would be who I would recommend.
Different. This is duct work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but anyway, so I had this 2x4 up and I hadn't screwed it in because the screws were at the bottom of the ladder. Right. So I'm up on the ladder and I'm like, shoot, I got to get down and grab the screws. And I had it fit tight enough so it was wedged up there. This is stupid. Like, I know better than this. You shouldn't ever do this. So I left it up there.
Oh no.
Because I was like,
oh, it's fine.
Took my hands up. Okay, it's going to stay. We're cool. And then, of course, I go down the ladder to grab them quick. And the 2x4 falls.
No.
And so basically it just clunks my elbow, which is good because if I would have taken that to the head or something else, that wouldn't have been good. But yeah, so basically it's like that back part of your elbow where you kind of have that tendon right above your bone and there's not a lot of meat. Is basically, so it got really swollen and then I like couldn't grip anything yesterday with my left hand.
And you're a lefty.
Yeah, which sucks. So it's like, well, swinging a hammer is basically just throwing a hammer because I can't hold on to it every time I wind up. So yeah, I took a break for about an hour and a half and iced it. And
do they make automatic hammers? Okay.
Yeah, they make pneumatic.
Like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, so they make something called a what do they call that? A palm.
Oh, you were telling me about that, where you just push it in, kind of.
Yeah, usually it's made for. Hey, I forget what you call it. A palm nailer. It's made for hanging. Usually joists. Joists are a really good one. Floor joists for floors or decking or anything like that, where you have to drive in a hanger nail. Otherwise, they make pneumatic air guns.
Oh yeah,
like
I guess
nailers and stuff like that. So yeah, they do. It's great. But there's still times where, in certain applications, where it's just a hammer is better. The old fashioned pulling out a nail and taking a swing at it. So yeah, that kind of I realized, I think from that, how thankful I am in terms of like, there's so much I take for granted until you're injured. Like, and you can't actually use your body in the way that you.
Yes.
Like, it was so discouraging trying to pick up a drill and hold on to it and try to drive in a screw after that. just like, I can't do this with my left hand.
Wow.
I like literally, like it's too much pain for me to.
Wow.
So it was just this thing of like, at first that was really discouraging, but as I'm just sitting there and taking a break, sitting on the couch while I ice my elbow, it's like, well, wow, like this, I am normally able to do these things like every day without even thinking about it. And so I don't know, at first it created like this very, just like I'm pissed. And over time, I think last night and into today, that turned into thankfulness. Is even last night, like I pushed myself after because I came back and finished it, and I maybe should have just took it easy, but I didn't. But yeah, it just turned into I don't know, something to be thankful for, of the like, and realizing I forget how often in construction, like as doing remodeling or construction, like you are always putting yourself at risk of injury, always. Like, and sometimes you just get so used to using the tools you do that you forget how dangerous some of this stuff is. Now, yesterday it was, I made a stupid mistake and I knew better and I shouldn't have done that. And I know that. But even just things like, man, like a saw, it's like, oh, wow, like I'm using this all the time. And I often forget of like how dangerous these tools can be.
Yeah.
Or same with a framing nailer. It's like, man, you take a sidewinder. It's like one of the guys I used to work with. He's been a carpenter for like I think 42 years, and he said
has all his fingers, or
he still does.
Wow.
He still does, right?
All right,
So
good
he's
for
like,
him.
that's how you know a good carpenter, when you shake their hand and they still got all their digits. I always laughed at that, but he's like, yeah, when you're using a framing, he's like, look, man, it's not a matter of like if you shoot yourself with a nail gun, it's a matter of when and how long it takes you out and how long you're hospitalized because of it.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like, oh, like for him, he's like, this is just an inherent risk of the job. If you're doing this long enough, it will happen. It's just a question of like, are you going to die from it when it does?
That's scary.
Yeah. And so it's like, whoa, sometimes you just I forget that stuff, and I'm not always aware of thinking of that. And obviously it's like trying to do stuff safely. Yeah. And I made a stupid mistake yesterday, but
that reminds me of when you were talking about that. I was thinking of two things. One, well, I was listening, but then two things came to my mind. One was how that that resonates with me as I think about my health, of when I don't realize the gift of health, until I get sick.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
And then I was thinking about that, and whenever I'm sick, I think I always you always, I think, maybe try to make those bargains with God. If depending on how sick you are, you're like, God, heal me.
Yeah.
And
I promise I'll never do this again.
Or like,
I promise I'll always do this.
Or I will always give you thanks for my health. And then like so often I get healthy and I forget to give thanks. And so then I was thinking like I think that's one of the one of the benefits, and also one of the pieces we've lost in Protestant evangelicalism, of when we've moved away from liturgy, or like having ritual within our churches, like when we meet on a Sunday morning or a Saturday evening, or at some point, or even within our own our own spiritual practices of spiritual disciplines. Like I think liturgy used to be a lot more a part of, and so of like, if you look at like the Book of Common Prayer, and you follow along of some sort of that, and there are a lot of traditions that do this still very well, but not very much really in Protestant evangelicalism. It's kind of lost, but and there they have like, giving thanks for your health, giving thanks for the things that God's given you. And I was like, oh, that's one of the benefits, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's things that we could incorporate like that in work to remind ourselves of.
Yeah. And I think it's very interesting too, to even think about like this morning, I was thinking a little bit about like the purpose of injury in terms of like, oh, like part of this isn't just that it would frustrate me, but there's also like I think some of the things that come up in this type of stuff in work is the heart level of things, right? It's like, the point isn't just to get better physically and allow my elbow to heal.
Sure.
I think that needs to happen. Hopefully that will happen, right? Like, I have no idea. Maybe this is a permanent thing, and it's just life is gonna suck because I really messed something up.
Welcome. You're gonna join the righty club now. You have to learn how to write with your right hand.
Yeah, dang it. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Even trying to like, I can do this morning, but like even trying to hold on to this, I couldn't do this yesterday.
Wow.
Like pick it up and hang on to it without it slipping through my hands is kind of like well, this is scary. But the purpose of like, oh, this is also intended to refine my heart in a sense of like, this has caused me to have a heart posture and an attitude of thankfulness and thanksgiving, whereas before I didn't.
And also hopefully remind you not to just trust tension to hold up a board above your head.
Right.
I think that'd be the first lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I should have, which I knew already. Again, theme of being reminded.
Yeah,
being reminded of what we already know. Yeah. So, and and I think sometimes maybe when I'm working alone, I'm more willing to take risks like that because I just think I'm not jeopardizing anyone else in the way I would be on an actual job site on a crew, like I used to work. But it's still not wise or smart or good to do. But yeah, those are some things I've learned. What
are your top 3 today?
Yeah, my daily 3 for today.
That's good. No, I appreciate you telling me that.
Yeah.
About what you learned. Because I could tell you were frustrated.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. And it was
and then when you just disappeared at night, I was like, well, Mike is going to sleep. Frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very frustrating. And I was just like, was not also expecting it to cause that much pain either. Like the first 45 minutes afterwards, it was just like sitting on the couch, like trying not to wince every time I moved. It was just like, what the? Like, it's just this.
This was not on my daily 3, Lord.
Right. This was unplanned. I was not intending for and it was just this total paradigm shift of here's how I'm engaging with work in my day to I feel very helpless. And I think feeling helpless makes us feel very uncomfortable. And that's what I think I realized yesterday. In that moment of like, this isn't just the physical pain. It's also the I feel an entitlement to comfort, especially when it comes to health. And that is being questioned right now by the reality of what I'm experiencing. So that was kind of an interesting trip to think through. But my daily 3 for today are 1, to finish the understairs area. And basically what I mean by that is to get it ready for drywall. So have all my insulation done, have all the electrical under there and have all the framing I need. So basically I'm ready to just start installing the drywall back there. And then the second one is to make a material list. So I got to go to the store to finish up some stuff, but I want to think through what are some other things I need to get. I'm realizing I hate going to the store, but there's also it's like this love-hate thing. Like I enjoy it or I hate it because it just takes so long. It's like, why did I spent 3 hours shopping?
You always do. That blows my mind.
Yeah. I don't know.
Get lost in the aisles of Menards.
Yeah. He's gone.
He gone.
But it's also this neat part of the project too, where I realize I've used up all my materials. I need to get more. So in a sense, it's also this milestone of progress of, okay, I need to get new stuff for what's up next in the project.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool aspect of it. And then thirdly, is to download and organize footage off of my phone. Because that's what I'm using to film.
How many gigs are you creating a day now?
It's between 30 and 45
gigs of video.
Yeah, which is insane. And it's 1080p, which is not 4K.
YouTube was waiting for you, man.
Yeah. So it's just wow, it will not take me long to clock in at a terabyte of stuff at this rate. But one of the things I think I was discouraged by yesterday is the filming process didn't go very well. And I think because it and we've talked about this before, is pacing. A lot of it because I was doing overhead work. I haven't really filmed overhead work, so I don't know how to get a good shot, a good angle. Because a lot of times when you're doing overhead stuff, one arm is dedicated to holding the material, the other is dedicated to fastening it, or working and doing whatever you got to do. So you have nothing left to hold the camera. So
have you ever thought about trying to use tension to hold the materials up at all?
Yeah, it has crossed my mind, and I have learned my lesson from that.
Yeah, it could be a way to maybe
would not recommend
free some hands.
But yeah, it was just a hard thing to film, and so I realized there was a couple things yesterday I did not film well of the process. Kind of that idea of show don't tell. So I want to actually show people here's what it looks like. Here's how you do it, rather than just explaining or telling.
Way to fail, man.
I want to do that too, but yeah. So there's some things I think I want to buy some extra materials when I go today, and basically just insert a clip into that video of a mock-up. So I'll just be at my workbench and be okay, so I didn't show this part when I was actually installing it. Here's what I did, so that you can clearly see. Here's the steps. Here's the process. Here's how to do it. So that might be something I do today or in the next couple of days as well. I'm not committed to that one yet as a daily 3, but
nice.
I'll need to get done.
And a bonus video that you'll find later is when it gets warm here, we're going to be cleaning out our gutters. So Mike's going to be picking up some gutter gasoline.
Yeah.
Where we've discovered this new technique where you just pour gasoline down your gutters instead of blowing out the leaves.
Yeah. If you got a big clog, you just pour about 6-7 gallons of gas, depending on how long your gutter
You got to get up on the roof, though. Spread it out.
Yep. Let the gutter soak it up.
Yep. Get it. And so it drains down through, the whole route.
Yeah. And then you make yourself a little fire trail at the bottom of the downspout. And then you, so you're far enough back for safety reasons. And then you light it, and that will clean out your gutters in a hurry.
Yeah. We have a great video about that we want to show. So
yeah. Yep.
So a little pro tip for you there. Cleaning out your gutters. Use gas. Makes you go fast.
Do you think we need to insert a disclaimer here?
Absolutely.
How we're not serious and that you should never try that at home.
Yeah, but if you do,
or anyone else's home,
send us a video of it.
Yeah, and we're also not liable or responsible
for your house burning down.
Yeah, it's your fault if you can't tell when we're not being sarcastic.
But if you have aluminum gutters, aluminum has a very high melting point. You should be fine.
It does. Maybe this would work.
Let's be honest. I mean, and gas.
In other news, we did see a house fire yesterday.
We did.
Just down the block. We went for a walk with our buddy Davis, and there was
I counted 7 fire trucks.
Yeah, plus a lot of other supporting vehicles.
Yes.
Other law enforcement vehicles and stuff. And it looked like just a little front porch fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smoking kills and burns.
Down houses.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all we got for today.
Yep, that is the Daily 3.
Write it down.
Make it happen.
Dear refuge of my weary soul, on thee when sorrows rise, on thee when waves of trouble roll, my fainting hope relies.
We'll have a special bonus video about how to light your house on fire by cleaning out your gutters.
There's gotta be a video somewhere on that.
That reminds me of, what is it? There's this joke sometimes in the trades of oh yeah, the way you check for gas leaks when you're fitting gas pipes is to just pull out your lighter and see if it ignites. I can't think of a better way to cause an explosion.